Cole Cubelic is our XFL correspondent. Of course, he's a part of the SEC network in the fall, calling games there. This weekly spot is brought to you by Tex Morris, our good friend over there on Jefferson Highway, a part of Edward Jones. Cole, good morning. How are you?
Hey, doing well, guys. Appreciate you having me. Speaking of Costco, did you see that video of the people in line at Costco in California?
I did. I saw your quote tweet to it.
Come on.
Ain't happening. Cole, I said that I'd rather the virus than stand in the line.
If you're the bottom line of the Z that worked its way through the parking lot of that thing, so you're in the back of the parking lot, and that thing has like double angled through the parking lot twice. You're not even in the door. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but
I know Costco's got things in bulk, but do you really anticipate they're going to have what you want by the time you get in there?
This is SoCal, though, dude. They're used to that traffic. For them, they're just like, it just makes sense to be in a line that long.
Nothing makes sense.
At least if you're sitting in your car, like when we were out in L.A. last weekend, Tom and I have a good friend of mine that he's an Auburn grad, and he works on the Fox studio lot. And I just texted him because we got in early, and he's like, "Oh, come around, I'll take you around the lot."
Ooh, nice.
So we did like a little tour. They actually have a Star Wars studio. I thought about you, T-Bob. I don't know exactly what they did in there. I took a picture of it. I'll send it to you. But
text it to me, baby.
So, and do you watch Orville?
Actually, yes. Yeah. I watched like the first season and a half, and then I fell off it, but it's a good show. I enjoy it. Why?
Well, with all of this going on, I might start checking it out because we got a pretty detailed tour of the Orville set.
What?
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Dude, cool. That is cool. That's a Seth MacFarlane show, the guy that made Family Guy. And if you're a Star Trek fan, it's actually really good. It's like a comedy, but it's got a good kind of classic Next Generation feel to it.
Yeah. So we get back on the 405 and we're heading to, I think we stayed in like Redondo Beach. It's a 15-mile drive, and the GPS tells us it's going to take 52 minutes.
Yeah, that's the 405, baby.
It's insane, but at least when you're in that traffic, like, you know what you're going to get to. Yeah. You know you're getting to where you're going. If you're in the back of that line at Costco, you have no idea what that place is going to look like once you get in. Like, there might not be rotisserie chicken. You might not be able to get Kaneka sausage. Like, you might not be able to get the muffins that you're looking for. It's like, what's the point of even staying in that?
Does it not show the excellent brand management of Costco, though, that their supplies seem so limitless that still the people in the back of that Z thought they were going to get what they want?
100%. I'll ask you guys if you think I'm a bad person for this. And I ended up not having to do this because I was scheduled to fly to Seattle today to cover an XFL game.
Geez.
As we all know, Seattle is like the epicenter of this coronavirus in the United States. So my wife is 7.5 months pregnant. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old at home. I was nervous about it. I was going to do it, and she and I had lengthy conversations about it. She didn't like it. She didn't feel great about it, but I felt like it was something that I needed to do professionally. So I'm just going through all the different things, and I said, you know what? I should probably at least try to load up on wipes to make sure I don't run out. Because last weekend when I went to L.A., I mean, I was borderline manic. Like, it was – I wiped my airplane seat down 3 times during each flight, on the way out there and on the way back.
Yeah.
And when I went to use the restroom, and I probably washed my hands 10 times each flight, I mean, I took a wipe, opened up the door handle with it, wiped off the water dispenser thing before I used it. So I went and looked for wipes. I think it was Wednesday night. As you guys know, there's none. You can't find them. They're gone. And so I walked into a certain store that the Walton family started a long time ago, and obviously they don't have any, and I'm walking out, and as you have probably seen at a lot of different stores, they have the, like, Purell wipe dispenser. So I'm thinking to myself, if I walked back in that store and bought a box of gigantic Ziploc bags, opened them, and sat there and just unloaded those wipes into giant Ziploc bags, would I be a bad human being?
Hell no, you're not, man. You're an OTB contributor that fits in great. That's a guy using his head on the spot.
That's a greasy move.
That's a hell of a move there, Cole.
I don't know.
Welcome aboard. You're a hell of a guy, man.
I can't support this.
Cole, you do a daily radio show too. What are you going to do?
We're going to talk.
Yep.
And we are going to learn the art of radio over the next month.
Okay.
And the key word we met after the show yesterday, we had a text thread today, And the key word that I have been emphasizing to my co-hosts and my producers is extension. And we need to learn the process of extension. So whatever has happened to us in our daily lives that we feel like it might be important to share, we need to learn how to extend that. So if someone grilled a steak and they dropped it on the ground and a squirrel ran up and got it, that doesn't need to be a 30-second discussion on the show. That needs to be a 10-minute and 30-second
videos and some photography.
I saw a giant bunny rabbit in my front yard this morning. No joke, leaving the house at like 4:30 a.m.
You got 10 minutes on it?
A giant rabbit. I thought it was a rat at first, but no, it was a cute little bunny.
Cole, no way spring football makes it, huh?
That should be your 8:45 segment. The entire thing. Like last night, my son woke up twice out of bed. I was keeping the kids by myself. My wife had a little event she had to go to. 9 o'clock, he rolls downstairs. 9:15, he rolls back downstairs. That's going to be a 15-minute segment on our show. Just discussing my 2-year-old coming downstairs at 9 and 9:15, the things that he said, the things that he did, how he acted, and why that was troublesome for me as a single parent at the time at home by myself looking after my 2 children. So that we are going to extend that topic, and we're going to learn how to extend topics over the next 4 or 5 weeks, however long this thing goes.
No way spring football makes it, right?
I don't believe so, no. And here's the thing, as far as spring games are concerned, how many practices would you technically need before you actually had a game or even wanted to put something on the field that looked like a game for your fans? You're not going to do that with 2 or 3 practices. So if this thing goes 2 weeks even, and then they're able to get on the practice field for another week, we're not going to make those dates that we had lined up for the spring games unless you just legitimately want to put on the cameras for teams to go practice. And you want to go watch offensive linemen run through the chutes and push the sled, and you want to watch, quarterbacks throw on air. Like, you could probably do that as a quasi-spring game, but putting guys on the field to go full speed against each other and actually run plays, I do not think that we're going to see that this year televised.
Yeah, look, I know that coaches are upset that the practice is canceled, but, I mean, coaches aren't upset, though, that the actual spring games are canceled.
No, I mean, I think it's a way to get your program on TV again, T-Bob, and it's a way to essentially do what we're doing now is to have a 2-hour radio show about your football team and talk about how great they are and who's going to play and what you did, especially from an LSU perspective. I mean, that's just an extended celebration of what happened last year and a preview of this year. So it would be great for a team like that. But, it's weird that you say, obviously they're mad about missing the practices. What do you do? I mean, do you try to let these teams make these up later in the spring? Do you try to give them a couple of practices in the summer? Because T-Bob knows this like I do, and everyone who always asks me why offensive line plays going backwards, people talk about, the spread offense, and these offenses are soft, and they throw the ball too much. And that's fine, and that does play a part. But the reality is, the amount of full-speed practices that have been limited and the so few times that you're able to get on the field in full pads and go full speed against another opponent trying to make you look bad, that's what hinders offensive line play. You're already very limited. Now you have about another 8 of those that are going to be taken away from you. And you think about from a roster perspective, nowadays you've got 7, 10, 12, 15 early entries that you're looking to help your football team. Well, the acclimation process that used to take place in the fall has now been taking place in the spring for those guys.
Yeah.
So even if they don't go out there and run first-team reps, they know the speed of practice, the tempo of practice. They know where to go in practice. They know what the fundamentals are going to look like in practice. They know who they're going to be around in practice. They know what special teams looks like in practice, where to go, how to operate. They know what conditioning after practice is going to feel like. There is no acclimation process for those early entries. That's going to be re-implemented in the fall, as all those guys now probably are not going to know what college football practice is really like. And if you have to implement them to what college football is like, that puts them further away from being ready to be a real part of your football team once you start playing games. It's a very slippery slope, and it is absolutely going to affect some college football teams in the fall, not just in the spring.
Yeah, I wonder if you just don't allow anybody to do it, and then it's just an equal playing field, even if it's not ideal. Cole, what about the XFL, man? I said it earlier in the show. I feel like if the league survives this, then it's actually a pretty strong testament to its longevity. Where do you think the XFL stands today?
I think number one, T-Bob, you look at what the league did for its players and coaches.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pay them through the season.
Yep.
They're going to take care of their benefits through the season. So they're doing them right. And I think our ultimate comparison to this thing is the AAF. Obviously, there are other spring leagues, but it's a complete opposite of how the AAF handled things when they had to shut down. I think that's a great sign that financially the league is getting behind their players. They're supporting their players. They're doing the right thing for their players. And they did the right thing by not making them play these games because, let's be honest, they had a gigantic opportunity to put those 4 games on TV this weekend. Gigantic opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, we were
right.
talking about a 8, 9, 10, 12 rating for those games this weekend because there's no other option.
Mm-hmm.
You're legitimately going against a NASCAR race on Sunday. That's it. It's the only sports we got this weekend, NASCAR. That's it. We got nothing else.
Wow.
So they did the right thing there. They did the right thing paying them. The attendance was trending up. The numbers, the ratings were good. If you read certain people and they'll say, oh, they continued to go down and they were diving. Wrong. You're getting 1 million, 1.4 million, 1.8 million, 2 million people watching these games still in weeks 4 and 5.
Yeah.
That is beyond where it needed to be for that league to have some real sustainability. I think the XFL will be back year 2. I think they'll make some tweaks. I think it'll be better in year 2. And I think you got a league that has shown, like you said, if they're able to get through this, and I think they will be, because I'm already hearing some rumblings about year 2, that they have some realistic staying power moving forward.
Cole Cubelic every week. Tex Morris over at Edward Jones right here on Jefferson Highway, a fellow Auburn grad supporting his fellow War Eagle. Cole's with us every at the end of each week talking XFL. I guess he's not traveling with the Friday travel schedule with XFL calling the season off. We always appreciate the time and 3-man front today. Thanks, man.
Hey, enjoyed it, fellas. Talk to you soon.
All right, Cole, take it easy, man.